I've got some decision to make. Not some decision, a decision to make. I've been invited onto the 2.5 Oyaji show with Victor and Hiko tonight, so 10:30 p.m. Japan time over on Victor's channel. I'm not sure which one. Will it be the Flake Man or the Breakman channel? I'm sure that that information will be forthcoming, but I'll be joining them. And my decision was to drink or not to drink tonight. And I have a bit of a challenge to that because I operate my life on rules that I largely, I follow the rules of society. I follow the implicit and explicit mandates within my marriage. Of course, the vows, and then the things that Yumiko and I have come to agree upon. That we sit down and have meetings from time to time, and come up with guidelines for how we live and operate together. And then the stuff that doesn't, the unspoken things, and likewise with work and all other social elements. So too with my individual stuff between my brain. I try to formulate guidelines that I follow, and one of those has been with regards to recreation and how I spend my time, and particularly with regards to drinking. Now, I'll share with you, and I'll come back to the 2.5 Oyajis in a moment, why this relates to that, and the decision that I have to make. Okay, let me tell you the story of me as a drinker. Basically, I was raised in a household where alcohol was freely imbibed. I remember the late 60s and early 70s when it was more like the cocktail type of stuff, the Dean Martin type of thing, and then moving on to beer and wine and Spagnotta and all that kind of stuff. But, however, growing up and becoming an adult, reaching the age of majority where I can vote and do all those things, and then drinking age, I chose not to do it. I basically was a teetotaler all the way through college. None of my friends drank. Very, very rare that I would even try it. I had really no interest. I basically didn't drink right up into my 30s. I only started drinking a little bit in my 30s when Yumiko and I bought that house, and we would have a lot of that house in Ojai, that big place with the yard, and we would have a lot of parties, and people like to drink, so I would get this big case thing, and I'd pour in ice and lots of beers, and I would drink some beers. Even then, it wasn't too much. Really, I would say I was a non-drinker all my life in the United States until that would take me right up to my age 40, roughly. A little before, 38, roughly. Then we came to Japan, and I had this bright idea. I wanted, like so many that come to Japan, they have this idealized image. Even though I'd lived here 2 years prior in the past, I kind of forgotten, but I had this idea of the Japanese family, where the husband comes home at the end of the day, and wife's got a big bowl of nabe, she sits on the table, and the family gathers around, and dad's sitting there with his bottle of beer and his glass, and he pops open the bottle and drinks it. I wanted to engage in that. I wanted to be that image. So I started drinking beer. I would start off with the bottles of beer, the Asahi, the Kirin, the whatever, and have a little glass, and enjoyed that. And I moved on over time to cans, just because it was more economical, and the bottles were such a pain to deal with. And that stuck. And for the most part, for the last 10 years in Japan, I have enjoyed beer and shochu, chuhai, not shochu. Shochu is too strong. Sake is too strong. I would enjoy beer and chuhai with my evening meal. I would stop down there at either Family Mart or 7-Eleven on my way home from work, whether I had my office down the road when my business was operating or at the school where I work now, and pick it up. 2 cans. Usually, sometimes it would be the 2 of the big cans, 500 milliliters. Sometimes it would be 1 500 milliliter and a small 350. Usually a combination of 1 beer, 1 chuhai. Chuhai is kind of a sweet, kind of girly drink, something kind of more masculine. So anyway, that was my routine for the last 10 years. Now, in going back to the States now, I thought this was a great opportunity to revisit my decisions about drinking and my lifestyle, because it's tough on the waist, and it's tough on the insides as well, and it's tough on the wallet. $5-7 a day, depending on what type I get. So I thought I would give it up, just go back to my old way of not drinking really. And I announced that to my wife, and she's the great moderator in my world, and she and Molly too. Molly is very good at pointing out when I'm being extreme. Yumiko's great about that. And she said to me, why are you considering, why does it have to be all out, all or nothing? Maybe there's something in between. Because I wanted to go out and have a party with some friends the other night, and I had to resolve to not drink. And she was like, well, why don't you just go out and have a party with your friends and have a few drinks? And I basically hadn't been drinking since December, since I gave up alcohol in December and basically had been on the wagon, so to speak, since then until like last week. And yeah, what the heck? So I went ahead and I went out and I had drinks with the friends and I had fun. And then another event came up, and that happened again. And I don't know why it didn't dawn on me sooner, but I decided to switch to becoming what I'm going to label as a social drinker. Now, a social drinker is going to be a person who will drink alcohol at social events, parties, get-togethers, maybe having dinner or lunch out, maybe a bottle of beer or a glass of beer, within reason, of course, within the legal limits, especially if driving, nothing at all. And then also on weekends, I do enjoy a glass of beer or a bottle of beer, and in California especially, the United States has a great varieties of beer. So I'm thinking weekend will constitute basically being a non-school night. So that would be Friday. Well, my new job schedule is going to have me working Monday to Thursday, and every other Friday is off. So every other weekend is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend. So on this, basically the nights that I don't have to go to work the next day. So it'll be Friday and Saturday nights, plus every other Thursday will be a drinking night as well. So I can drink on those nights, and I can drink on holidays and events, so when I'm off work and the like, and when I go out to parties and stuff like that. And I think that that's a good way to do it. I think that that'll help out to keep the waistline down. It'll help out with the budget. It'll also help out to make sure that the alcohol, that there's reduce the risk of alcohol becoming less of an indulgence and more of a need. You know what I mean? Because there is a danger in that. I felt that, you bet. When I stopped drinking in December, for the first week there, I was like, you're coming home, walking past that 7-Eleven, and you feel it kind of like this gravity pull, drag. You buy me, get the beer, and it kind of wears off over time. And then by the time last a week it was, or 2 weeks ago when I went out, I basically just had it was gone. And it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary when you feel that. So it's good to maybe this strategy will help to make sure that I'm on top of the alcohol, and the alcohol doesn't get the best of me. Because it's a danger. And so there we go. So bring me back to my dilemma. The dilemma then is tonight, what to do, because tonight's a school night. It's a Wednesday. I definitely have work tomorrow, but it's also a 2.5 Oyaji. I'm being invited onto the 2.5 Oyaji show, which is a social event. So is tonight a social night, in which I can drink, or is it a work night, a school night in which I need to abstain? We'll see what happens. Tune in tonight to the 2.5 Oyaji show to find out where I go with this decision, if you're curious. And we'll see. Now you guys know my new plan for... how's that last? You guys know my new plan for alcohol in the coming new life. We'll see what happens with the rest of all these changes. And there we go. I went to almost 9 minutes again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. See ya. I hope to see you tonight on 2.5 Oyaji with Victor and Hiko. And I'm going to try to ask him. I want Molly. I hope Molly will join us as well, because, just ain't the same without him. See you later. Bye-bye.